Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the debrief, morning debrief for the 4th of March. The current time is just past 8:15. Okay, quite an interesting night last night, relatively mixed in terms of equities. Had some pretty solid moves in crude and gold, which was quite good, and also some of the other markets some of the other commodity markets behaved quite nicely, particularly wheat as well. So quite a good night last night. Good manufacturing data in the States. Remember, tomorrow night we've got the unemployment data, so that's going to be widely watched. But initial jobless claims are getting quite positive, so there is a chance that perhaps a little bit of a turnaround in what's happening in unemployment in the US, and I think this is quite critical. Okay, let's just have a look at a bit of a wrap. Okay, generally speaking, as you can see, the Dow was down 9.2, 10,396. The S&P was up 0.48, and the Nasdaq was down 0.1. Much positive night, more positive night for equities in Europe, and the Stoic was up 26, but the DAC and the CAC and the FTSE were all up just under that 1.1%. Now that's purely on the back of the Greece concerns. Although there is quite a bit of civil rest out there, the market is relatively positive in terms of what's happening to the Greek situation, and there's been a vote of confidence, I guess, there from the EU as well. So that in itself is quite positive, and as you can see, the equity markets relayed that confidence or renewed confidence. Okay, of the major news last night, there we go. Fed's economy improved this year. That's good, and that's positive. Stocks rise, economic data, not too bad there. So generally everything seems to be relatively positive. We did have some good data there just down here on, where was it? Yeah, I know with the economy, but on the manufacturing sector, it continued to be strong as well. So that is quite positive. And I think the outlook is generally positive, I guess, across the board. So you're aware also, we just put out an oil report, relatively bullish on oil on a breakthrough this US $81 a barrel. Potential is back to that 85, and then maybe even upwards and onwards if the economies remain on track for this recovery. Then we should actually see it. We should actually see it move a lot higher, maybe even US $100 a barrel. Okay, let's have a look at some of the commodities and on the currencies. First of all, we round up with the dollar index. Dollar index is quite weak. That is a feature of the market at the moment. US dollar under pressure. As you can see, it's broken this trend. We do have a double top in place here. So dollar index, in my mind, comes under pressure from here, and maybe even comes way back down to that US $78, and that will give significant support to the commodity sector. Having a look at the Aussie there, Aussie holding up right on support at 90.50, and we really need to see that continue to hold at these levels. We are currently long, and we want that support to hold here. Obviously, if we take out through this 90 at any stage, we are wrong, and we will probably get out of our long positions. But at the moment, we're quite optimistic that we'll get a chance for it to trade higher. A lot of these moves, the strength in the Aussie, really happens around US trading time. So at the moment, probably expect weakness during the day, but it'll probably pick up later. Euro, we're also long. We went into the euro last night, 136.27. That's holding all right. Little bit of consolidation here back to support, as you can see. There's the support level there, and we're just coming back to that level. So that in itself, when you look at the big picture, we really got to check how that's looking, and that does look like it's tracking. Good double bottom, triple bottom down the lower end down here. So that in itself, I think, looks quite positive. Onto the local markets, as we mentioned, the Dow was up just fractionally, or it was very mixed anyway, towards the close, but the local market has behaved okay, and it just peeled back a little bit towards the close there. But let's see how that does operate at the moment. There are signs of divergence starting to appear in the local market, so I would just be a little bit cautious as to what occurs there. I would follow this trend as well. This is a nice little trend to follow, and I think if we take out that 47.20 today, then I think I'd be a little bit bearish just for the time being. But let's see how that trackers. Remember, the equity markets in America are not exactly moving on. Our market has been, so perhaps we got a little bit of catch-up to come. There's a little bit of catch-up to happen on the downside. Okay, general commodities now. Gold continues to look good for us. We are long there, as everyone knows, have been long for a while. 1150 was a target we had the other day, and that still remains intact. It looks quite good. There obviously is just a sign of divergence on the hourly basis, but I really wouldn't read too much into that. Let's see what happens on that. Crude oil continues to go well as well. But keep an eye on crude at 81 US dollars a barrel, and we are now above that level, so we've sort of put a few trend lines in here. But if we can stay above 81, 81.20, then that's a sign that we're onwards and upwards to the old highs. The old highs are around that 84, 85 level, so quite positive on that front. Copper looks good. Wheat had a good night as well. Wheat was certainly up. Wheat up once again 10 to 15 cents, depending on which contract you're looking at. And that to me basically says that those trades remain relatively all right. There it is there. And you can see there that it's just behaving nicely. We had one of the warrants in oats, and that was issued a couple of weeks ago, and that seems to be bearing good dividends at the moment. And sort of we're looking for oats to continue to move higher as well. Just onto the numbers, economic numbers today. Trade balance in Australia is out, and we've got Eurozone GDP, ECB on their interest rates, no change there. Also Bank of England, no change. But non-farm productivity, initial jobless claims, factory orders are all the major ones in the States. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of action out there tonight, and there's some good trends starting to develop. Keep an eye on that euro, keep an eye on crude, and also keep an eye on gold, because I think that's where we're going to get most of the opportunity. We're long gold, we're long euro, we're long Aussie, so it could be quite fun. Anyway, happy trading, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.